What's up, guys, and welcome back to Wreckfest, as well as welcome into the channel. We are starting off today with the first race in the cop car. As you see, a taxi wasn't moving back there, not even 1 inch off the line, but we are all moving into the wall off the first turn. Left wall going into the right wall next. As I spin that guy out, we all go into the left wall after that. People going off into the trees, about 5, 6, 7 of them probably. We got two people off to the left spinning each other out, two people off the right spinning each other out. As we saw that taxi back there was one of those people spinning each other out. We try to spin out this Bugzilla. That doesn't work as he regains control. We'll go ahead and go off that mound right there, almost flipping our car. As this bus tries to go head on into us, we'll go ahead and avoid that, letting that guy take the brunt of the hit. As I avoid him, going into lap 2, final corner. We can see their bus is rejoining the track. Another bus decides to make a roadblock out of himself, the blue bus, and the Bugzilla back there. We can see him getting flipped around. We can see the bus off to the left getting spun out, as we saw the other bus being reset back onto the track. As he just barely hits that Nexus right in front of us, head on. We can see the Bugzilla and the War Digger back there hitting each other into the fence, into the middle of the track, everything. As me and the Bugzilla just go side by side. Hopefully he doesn't hate me for spinning him out earlier, as that mound hates me and flips me end over end onto this little tower thing. I'm not sure what that was, but you could see that guy in the yellow car back there was about probably 10-20 HP left, and you can see that there's going to be somebody helping us right here. Who is that? That's the taxi from the start line earlier. He went ahead, sacrificed his race, so he could help me get off the little tower thing. What an absolute legend. Thanks to him, we can now continue this race and get more content out of it. As we go over the next hill, we get rammed into by a War Digger instantly. As soon as I'm just ready to go again, we get rammed into by a War Digger. We go over the same hill though on the 5th lap, and I get flipped over because of it. I'm 1 lap down as first place has already finished the race. We get slammed into by this guy, the one that we flipped into earlier when we flipped onto that little tower thing. He hits us back by putting us into the guardrail, and then this little War Digger back here gives us a tiny bit of a left tap as he ends our race, and we go into the second race. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second race, speaking of which, as we go ahead and get around the first corner pretty well until we get this semi right here. I get stuck between the War Digger and the semi as the War Digger backs off. The semi turns the bus straight into me. The bus still trying to turn as soon as we get off the little bridge area. About 5 people go into that area over there. Is that guy had some sort of ping issue? He was just flying for some reason. We'll go ahead and get over the loop as we get hit right here by some sort of yellow car. The War Digger hits us, and another War Digger hits us, ending our race. Alright guys, let's head straight into the third race, as I have decided to switch it up, go into the Eagle R, as we see the taxi is not going off the line again. The bus is all slamming me into this impenetrable freaking pillar though. That thing must be really strong. As we can see people everywhere off the beginning of the race. There's a guy right there, FTA. We'll see a lot of him later. He decides to try and pull into the inner track, but I don't let him, as the bus pulls out in front of this semi-truck. Both buses going absolutely end over end, as another bus just decides to take a random U-turn. We can see the taxi right there pulling back onto the track, just stopping in the middle of it. I'm not sure what his obsession is with stopping in the middle of the track, but he loves it, as that bus doesn't love being turn bombed by the semi-truck up there. As you can see, that piece of work just went ahead and turned out straight in front of me, as that guy does the same thing, but he's a lot smarter with it, because we're already turning, putting on the brakes, so he won't get as much of a beating as the other guy did. He does decide to run it wide though through that turn, as I run it up the inside, taking that position. We'll run behind the semi-truck as we get into lap 4, because nothing really happened for the rest of those few laps, as the buses send us straight into the emergency vehicles, making an opportunity for these two to get their positions back. We go back into third, the semi goes back into fourth, losing probably, I think, 3 positions for him, 2 for me. We'll just continue on into the lap 5 as I get hit by a bus, killing him and sending me back all the way into 6th. Will we lose 6th place? No, we will not. 7th place stays about a second behind me. He's catching up though really rapidly. There he is. We'll go ahead and try to take him out. That doesn't work somehow. He's like 1 HP. I'm not sure how that didn't work, but okay. As nothing really happened for the rest of that race, we'll go across the line on lap 5. We'll see that semi though was actually taken out at some point during the race. But let's go ahead and get into the next race, as we will go ahead and start with the War Digger, because I just want to cause some destruction, as this absolute artist of destruction, FTA again, sends me straight into the tent. We will see the taxi over there in the trees, see that light blue car kissing that barrier, as this piece of work just goes ahead and decides to run me on the outside of the track, actually ramming me into the barrier. That's a forced reset for us. We have to reset, nothing else we can do there. As we'll go ahead and get into the second lap, nothing else really happened on the first lap. We'll see the guy again kissing that barrier one more time, giving it a little smooch, as we'll see FTA up there and with the taxi. FTA goes ahead and gets rammed off the road by a bus. He seems to be in a really bad mood today, as he just decides to T-bone me. I don't really appreciate that though. So we'll go ahead and see what we can do about that up here on this turn, as we go ahead and ram him into the barrier for more of a spin out. As I go ahead and go into the guardrail, that did more damage for him though than it did for me, because he was forced to stay back there a little bit, trying to regain his traction. As we'll go ahead and skip over lap 4 into lap 5, we'll see a guy going end over end off the little mound back there. He goes ahead and sends it into the trees. I'll go ahead and send that guy straight into him as well, as we see FTA rapidly approaching. We're not going to let him get our spot though, so we'll go ahead and pinch him into the wall, as we can see me and him both tied right there at the last second. Absolutely amazing stuff right there. As we'll head into the next race with the Razor, we'll see FTA once again right beside us starting off. I'll go ahead and give him a little shove, so that way we can get him free, although the bus just doesn't want to let us free. He will just keep me prisoner. We got FTA's race back in order, but we need to get mine back in order, as we're trying to make some moves on this bus. Resetting is my only possibility, as we are getting lapped right now. We see the bus though getting over and sent into the air, as this guy with the dynamite on his car on lap 4 is being sent into the air now. I'm not sure what that is. That looks like an old hot rod, but he just sent the Bugzilla straight into the wall. I'll go ahead and give him a little love tap into the wall. He doesn't like that, so he decides to try and spin me out, but it doesn't work, as we head on into lap 5. As you can see, these two up here are having a little lover's quarrel, and you can see the War Diggers in that semi over there are also having a little bit of a lover's quarrel. I go ahead and get that guy into the wall, as you can hear, and this guy over here, I guess he was the other person involved with that, tries to bump me. Doesn't work, so he just goes ahead and bumps me straight into the wall instead as I pass him. That probably did more damage onto him than it did onto me, as this War Digger is about to inflict some damage onto this guy, spinning him straight into the wall, letting me have those 2 positions, I think, right there. As we're going to go ahead and skip over to lap 8 when we cross the line, getting 9th position, because there was nothing else really in that race. But there will be more content in this race, as we go ahead and stick it with the Razor. You can see that War Digger up front not wanting to go anywhere. That guy wanting to go into the dirt for some reason over to the left, as we see everybody going into the dirt up here. This guy's shoving me out of the way. I'm not really sure how to feel about that though, as for now. So we'll just go ahead and get some clean racing side by side. He goes into the freaking billboards or whatever those were. I lose it, spin straight into him, and that guy takes him out completely. We can see the Venom up here running it wide. That might be a Super Venom actually, I don't know. As we'll go ahead and run it through the final few corners of lap 1. We can see FTA back there getting taken out by the Bugzilla, and I can see a bus over here. So I decided to run it wide just to be safe. As little to my knowledge, he was actually typing inside the chat. By the way, sorry to anybody who reads those chats because they can be pretty funny sometimes, but there were a lot of things being said in there, so I had to blur them out for this race and for a few other races. Anyway, let's continue into lap 3 as we see the War Digger and a trophy truck ramming a car off the little dirt mound back there. We'll go and skip lap 4 though, as there wasn't really anything happening. Going into lap 5, me and Kinnick fighting for second place. I take him out into the wall. Somehow he regained that. I'm not sure how he saved that, but that was a huge save. We'll go ahead and finish third. Let's go ahead and get into the next race as I decided to swap into the War Digger. You can see 2 buses and a War Digger back there didn't immediately go off the line. I guess they were just AFK or something. So we'll go ahead and send this guy out into another track, it seems like. The little green car back there. Anyway, everybody's just going everywhere off the first turn. I decided to try and hit that purple car, but my reaction time was a little bit late as I went straight through the billboard and off into the abyss. We'll go ahead and reset though as we go ahead and skip over to the end of lap 1 where we see these two. We'll go ahead and send those two into the wall just like everybody else that was back there. It's like a little maze trying to get through here. War diggers everywhere, buses everywhere, but we somehow make it through. Not that bad off, honestly. We'll go ahead and get into lap 2 with this all. These two already taken out, so I'll go ahead and take one of them out even more, just to add some little salt to the wound there, because why not? That's my job, I'm a War Digger after all. I go ahead and get unghosted at the worst time possible there, though, hitting that limo. The War Digger up here hitting the bus, so I have to hit him. I had no other choice. We see the green car flying, and a purple car barely skimming me at the bottom of my screen, actually going head on, or roof on, into the wall back there. Crossing the line into lap 3, we get that little guy a love tap as he gets taken out. The War Digger tries to give me an absolute death tap as he gets taken out almost into the wall. Me and that War Digger back there just exchange blows for no reason at all. As he was heading backwards, I was heading forwards. We saw everybody back there going into that wall. I decided to give this limo a little push into the wall. He actually gets stuck on the barrier. So I try to head off, but this guy says, no, 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 you're not going to. He goes ahead and spins me out. And I guess I'm just stuck here with this limo now. Let's just hope he doesn't know it was me. That was actually the one that spun him out. The War Diggers everywhere once again. I hit that one. The limo finishes him off though. I'm guessing he was trying to hit me but missed. As we'll go ahead and cross the line into lap 4. We'll go ahead and see this guy right here. Let's just go ahead and give him a little love tap in the next corner. Not across the grass, but rather across into that news van that I just now saw. Because that seems like a little bit more fun, don't you think? Anyway, let's just go ahead and get our traction back as we saw FTA there. We'll go ahead and finish off the lap 5 in 11th place. Let's go ahead and get into the next race though. As we've swapped over back onto the Razor, we see the bus trying to pin us against the wall again. It's the same bus from earlier actually. We'll go ahead and get off the ramp as we saw the War Digger off to the left being spun out. We'll go ahead and spin these two guys out as we go ahead and kiss that barrier, not looking where we are going. This is why you always pay attention when you drive. We'll go ahead and get around the first corner of lap 1. We could see already chaos happening in the stadium area. As we saw the trophy truck passing us. That guy is absolutely zooming past everybody actually. We'll go ahead and see this guy actually getting taken out. Not sure what happened to him. He must have been going through it. As we'll see the Nexus over here trying to take out the step van. The step van doesn't like that, so we'll go and spin out the Nexus. Me and the step van going over the ramp as the step van does actually get taken out by his own suspension, actually. The taxi being taken out by the War Digger right there. I guess the War Digger decided to stay there, try to take people out. As we find the taxi, go ahead and pass him. As we find another taxi, go ahead and spin him out. I'm pretty sure that's the taxi that saved me earlier. Probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well. This piece of work rejoins the track at probably the worst time possible. But we do catch him and end up passing him. We see We'll go ahead and get until lap 5 as we find the car just absolutely up my rear end. This guy decides to take a bigger entrance than the last guy did. Yeah, that's him up there. You see him? That's the guy that's tried to rejoin the track earlier. And the one that just tried to rejoin the track actually got annihilated by me. As these war diggers up here are annihilating each other, I'll go ahead and take out the trophy truck, almost taking them out completely. Go ahead and regain that first place. As we see the step van rejoining onto the track. The guy with the dynamite on his car is probably 1 HP at this point. I'd say probably, nah, that's more like 10, probably. We'll go ahead and take the right side though, as we'll go ahead and head up this turn. We can see the trophy truck is fast approaching on us, regaining, as he decides to take his revenge for that rear end earlier, destroying my car in the process. Absolutely annihilated I have been. As we go ahead and skip over into lap 11. Nothing else really happened that race besides that area. As we go ahead and hit this war digger, T-bone him as he gets annihilated by the taxi. I can tell me and the taxi are going to have a little bit of a tough battle here. 0.1 seconds between us as I go ahead and take the corner better than the taxi did. Alright, let's go ahead and head into the final race on this video as we see 2 buses and a war digger not actually going anywhere. We go ahead and decide to challenge ourselves actually with this little go-kart. We can actually see a size comparison to the actual realistic vehicles, like the normal vehicles. I'm about the size of their tires. As the taxi spins that guy out, I go ahead and spin him out even more. I'm not sure how that happened considering what I'm driving. I almost spun out as a little side effect though, but I didn't actually spin out. The war digger's actually being flung into the mountains back there. We'll go ahead and head into the middle of lap 1. As FTA was trying to rejoin the track, I go ahead and hit him in the bumper. The war digger decides to do more than that, spinning him out completely. As these guys over here, these pieces of work going into that construction site, I'm not sure why, but they just turn bombed each other. The war digger off to the left being taken out is actually a common thing between the war diggers and the little cars. They don't actually take out the little cars all that much. I'm not sure what that bus is doing back there, going in reverse like that though. As we see these guys up here causing smoke, I'm going through the ditch for some reason. As I take the turn wide, and there's actually tons of cars everywhere being taken out. I go ahead and get into 4th position. I'm not sure how I'm doing this good with such a tiny vehicle, but we saw the war digger and the bus back there taking each other out. The bus is actually the next guy in 3rd, but we'll go ahead and skip the rest of that race. There wasn't much going on. Finished 4th. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down if I should do more Wreckfest videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.